another topic, can you explain the contradiction between you and the president and your statements on whether the White House made the call to cancel the tours?
Nedra, the fact of the matter is that the White House runs the tours. The tours are of the White House. The Secret Service staffs the tours. The Secret Service came to us with a decision that because of the sequester cuts, it would be, in their view, impossible to staff those tours, that they would have to withdraw staff from those tours in order to avoid more furloughs and overtime pay cuts. It was our job then to cancel the tours. The Secret Service cannot, because those are White House tours. So that is what the president was referring to.
Well, it sounds like he was wrong, though, when he said that the decision wasn't made by the White House.
Well, the decision to cease providing Secret Service staff to the tours was made by the Secret Service. They have their budget. They look at it. They evaluate the options, all the bad options that are on the table, including, as they have said and we have said, tours versus furloughs and cutting of overtime pay, which goes to their core mission, and made the decision that their core mission was better served by canceling tours, which are very labor intensive, than by having more furloughs and cutting more pay. And that's a decision that we agree with, that we think is not a happy choice, but is the right choice when it comes to the need for every agency affected by the sequester to focus on their core mission as they implement these cuts.
But didn't the president say this was not a decision?
Yeah, sorry.
The president said
Reuters.
this was not a decision made by the White House. You just said it was.
Well, Ed, I think I just answered that question and said that the Secret Service made the decision about its budget and to withdraw personnel from tours.
Right. And then you said it was
We had to
our
cancel
job.
the tours. It's our job to cancel the tours. They cannot cancel them. So, because this is not a tour of the Secret Service building, it's a tour of the White House and the grounds. And we run the tours and the invitations and that process. So the White House, as we have said, canceled the tours, confronted with the choice made by the Secret Service, which we concur with, but it is certainly their choice because it's their budget, that it was the right thing to do not to add further furloughs to the future for Secret Service agents, the men and women who put their lives on the line to protect senior officials in our government, and that the result would be cutbacks in staffing hours in an area like tours, which is so labor intensive. So but let's go back to the fact that none of this was necessary. These choices are all bad, and that was the point of the sequester. And that's the reason why we should be avoiding it. And while it is an unhappy choice to cancel tours on the one hand, or furlough hardworking men and women who put their lives on the line in service of the country, our even greater concern is with the 750,000 Americans who will lose their jobs because of the choice to implement the sequester. That is the worst outcome of the sequester. Another terrible outcome of the sequester is the reduction in economic growth that every economist on the outside who's analyzed this say will occur. I think we're now seeing that there are unhappy results of sequester. It may be a home run in some folks' eyes, a victory for the Tea Party for some, but it's bad for America. It's bad for those who will lose their jobs and those who suffer from diminished economic growth.
The president indicated that White House tours are under review. On last Thursday, Major asked you that question, and you said no, they're not under. This policy
the decision has been made to cancel the general tours. As the president said in his interview, he's asked the White House to consult with the Secret Service to see if there's any way to provide limited tours to school groups or others. That's being reviewed. But I should be clear that the choices here, there's not an option here to reopen the tours in general here, because again, that's not an option because of the sequester cuts. These are labor intensive operations that require thousands of man hours by the Secret Service, and the decision was made that given the unhappy set of choices sequester presented to the Secret Service, that this was the best option.